sponsor of this bill for the North Central Development Commission. Mr. President, this bill is a developmental bill, and the North Central Geopolitical region largely consists of what is historically and often preferably referred to as the Middle Belt region of Nigeria. The states of Kwara, Niger, Kogi, Benue, Nasarawa, and Plateau. This is the region that has the highest conglomerate of ethnic minorities in Nigeria. Mr. President, it is the most agriculturally viable region of this country with very clement weather. And it has massive water resources. Mr. President, this region houses the highest concentration of solid minerals in Nigeria. And this is the region, so unfortunately, that has the least presence of government attention and presence.
Let me remind you that you have included FCT in the North Central, and if you are saying there is no presence of government, this is the seat of government. Even the president is in Abuja. So I just want to remind you about that.
Mr. President, the FCT is for all of Nigeria. We are housing.
Okay, the Sogushadi, I will ask the minority whip whether he wants to stay with North Central Development Commission or also have his own commission. If you are saying FCT is for all Nigerians, it's true. But Senator Philo Aduda, do you want to stay with North Central Development Commission? Okay, you may continue.
Thank you, Mr. President. The challenges of the North Central have been highlighted by earlier speakers, my colleagues from the zone. And Mr. President, you will recall that as a result of the peculiar security challenges in this country, in the 8th Assembly, when the Northeast Development Commission was in the making, Kano State and Plateau State were to be included in the Northeast Development Commission, and the Senate took that decision. I was in the House of Reps then. But when it reached somewhere, the states of Kano and Plateau State were no longer in the commission then. And the advice was that the North Central Geopolitical region can, in view of its own peculiar challenges, come up with its own bill. And that's why we are on the floor today, Mr. President. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I would say that outside of the Northeast region, no other region has been so devastated and traumatized than the North Central region. It's unfortunate that today the Northwest is equally facing what we had thought was just limited to the Northeast and North Central. And as a result of these challenges, Mr. President, the region feels neglected. There is that perception of desertion by successive governments in Nigeria. If you look at the budgets of this country and you look at interventions in critical infrastructure, if you look at these states that I've mentioned, you will see that what is happening in other regions is yet to be visited positively on the North Central Geopolitical region. And that is why we are making a case very strongly for this Development Commission, so that we can tackle and give attention to agriculture and agriculture-allied industries in this region. As I've said, it is the most agriculturally viable region of the country. So this commission will enable government and, of course, states of the region and the people to concentrate in the development of agriculture and agri-allied industries. And of course, the mining industry will receive special attention under this commission, in addition to the provision of critical infrastructure, particularly the need for us to have a railroad that will take off from Jos, hit Abuja, and proceed to Minna. A railroad that will link up this region. And that is going to help a lot because all the railroads in this country are from south to north. There is none that links up this central region of the country. And we are saying that is very, very important. And Mr. President, distinguished colleagues,
You can round up now.
this commission will undertake the rebuilding, reconstruction and reintegration of displaced communities that pervade almost all the states in the region. And that is why a special fund that will be managed by the commission, with the federal government being a contributor, with the states, and of course having development partners and donors that will come into it. Finally, Mr. President, a stable and peaceful North Central geopolitical region is in the best interest of this country. This commission is therefore will heal the perception, erase the perception of marginalization, and bring the presence of government to this region. We therefore urge all colleagues to all support this bill for the establishment of the North Central Geopolitical Development Commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Yakubu Oseni.